Hi there. I wanted to do a live stream. No one's here quite yet, but maybe people will start to trickle in and stuff. Um, I don't know. I was just sort of like in a mood to just sort of like talk and have like a discussion, like a conversation. So as people hopefully start to get into the live stream, um, I don't know. I just kind of want to start this dialogue, this conversation, just sort of about just like the student, like the specific attitude, like and just like the current frontier when it comes to theme park vloggers, when it comes to theme park pricing and just general announcements and what's new and exciting just in the theme park sphere. So just as everybody's getting into the chat, um, are you the only person in this live stream? You might be, but hopefully people start to jump in. This is really random, so sorry about that. I wanted to do this yesterday, but I ran out of time because it got a little dark and I worked yesterday and stuff. And I try to do these during the daytime if I can because I like that like natural light that like comes in through the window and stuff. So hello everybody. So yeah, this is just a live stream just to talk, and it's weird because with live streams, like I like to have like a topic to talk about, sort of. So in essence, it sort of ends up being somewhat of a podcast, whether it's just me or if Brennan's here or something. Because it's this premeditated topic that I want to like talk about. So I miss a lot of the comments whenever it comes to those. Um, yes. So immediately, the new pricing for these special fast passes at Disney is crazy. And I do want to talk about that. I want to talk about Disney and Universal. I want to talk about the attitudes that people currently have toward them because it's a very uh it's a climate that I'm not a fan of right now. Like I'm like if I'm being like super transparent, like I'm not super happy with the current like theme park um complex that people have when it comes to their like uh allegiance, if it's like a reasonable word to use. Um so I guess immediately, like while people are maybe trickling into this, I don't know how many people are going to be watching, but I don't even know how long this video is going to be. Just it just depends on how long it takes for my rant uh, to be. That's what someone with a podcast mic would say. You know, I don't know. It's silly, but it's sort of like it helps with the presentation factor of like choosing words carefully. And even though these videos do tend to be longer, like I do want to make sure that what I'm saying is hopefully worth people's time and investment, because you could be doing anything else right now. You could be watching any number of like theme park content creators or just actual media. But you're here. So thank you so much for that. And this makes me feel just slightly more, I don't know, legitimate. Uh, but yeah, so I've maybe you don't know this, but I've finally caught up to the present date on videos on my channel. That is unfortunately a sad thing to admit. I'll say, but just going on the Alaska cruise and having 10 days worth of video, it wasn't just 10 days worth of editing on those videos, but and I'm this is just me being completely. I'm just making all these excuses, obviously, but it was a lot of stuff. And while I was editing those videos, I would be actually filming and doing other stuff with Brennan, or my brothers came into town or something. So I could never fully catch up with myself on videos that I needed to edit and upload before I would go and film something else, doing something else with someone else. So, and that's why it's been a little confusing on my channel, and I'm not like super like happy about it. Oh, I got something in my hair here. Um, yeah, I'm not like super proud of it where I'm uploading my experience with one hurricane as another hurricane is coming towards Florida. And I not that I'm like super intent on making sure that videos are time sensitive and stuff. My big thing, if you know, is chronological narrative of my life, right? At the end of the day, these videos are my life and the order in which I do the things that I do. And I really do not want to stray from that like stringent concept, because it is my journal. It is for me to look back on and see what I did and when I did it. And if I just start uploading everything out of order, just I would not like that. I think a lot of people like upload videos for the sake of uploading a video and then they move on to the next one, and just whatever's the easiest to edit, whatever's the most relevant and time sensitive, which is like a fine way to do that if that's how you do YouTube and that's how your audience expects your videos to be, and if you do YouTube for a living, and that is like by all means like the best way to go, because you're making a living off of YouTube, so you need to do what you need to do on YouTube. But again, for me, it took me a long time just to like catch up with the present, and I haven't recorded anything in a couple weeks because I tried to be strict with myself on. I didn't want to film anything else until I finally caught up with myself. That just to be in that mental space of like actually being present right now, and having this being the most current thing on my channel, I'm happy about that. And so I do apologize if that's something that's like not fun, where I'm uploading videos from 2 weeks ago, or I'm uploading, I don't like that. Just to put that out there and be transparent about it. But sometimes, and it's weird because I'm happy about that, right? Because I have so much stuff to share that I've been able to do, and I don't want it to come across as like braggadocious, but being able to go on an Alaskan cruise, and then for Brennan's birthday, getting to go to Cabana Bay, and then my brothers wanted to come into town and go to Halloween Horror Nights, and just having to be just so much all at once was, it was fantastic, and I'm so happy that I got to do it. But then it does, in addition to like having a full-time job and stuff, it catches up with you. So I'm glad that I'm present and stuff, and it's gonna be exciting to like move forward, I guess, to do videos and then edit them in a timely and relevant manner. Yeah. So that being said, I guess thank you for watching the videos. If you have, I know it's been a lot of very random stuff. Maybe the Halloween stuff isn't people's favorite. Maybe the cruising stuff isn't people's favorite, but it's really a fortunate place for me to be able to just edit videos and have anybody watch them at all. So thank you. Just genuinely thank you if you watch the videos. To talk about the hurricanes, we're fine here. My parents are fine. My parents live in the panhandle of Florida, so they were very fortunate with Helene, because that went more towards the Big Bend, sort of east of Tallahassee, and then up to North Carolina, which that was devastating that impacted North Carolina the way that it did, especially after having just gone there. And then us having Milton, and that moving sort of across Central Florida. But we were just very fortunate with that, and just how that downgraded by the time that it got to us in Central Florida. So 2 hurricanes, 2 weeks apart, but we ended up having the best case scenario in terms of making it through those hurricanes. Yeah. And if you sort of watched the hurricane, it's weird because full transparency, doing YouTube, you have the option to put ads on a video. When you upload a video, it asks if you want to monetize it or not. And I always have this like internal, it shouldn't be a conflict, but it's this like conversation, this dialogue with myself about what is or is not inappropriate to monetize. And there are certain topics that I don't think are appropriate to monetize and put advertisements on. It just, so like a hurricane video, or like if there's some bad news associated with like my personal life, I try to be conscientious of that sort of stuff. And again, other people may prefer to monetize those kinds of videos, and maybe if that's coming from a more like educational, informational standpoint, then that's their choice, obviously. That was sort of a tangent that was unnecessary, but probably because I get just self-conscious about like, I don't want it to seem like I am monetizing something that I should not. So just know that I do take that under consideration when it comes to videos that I put on the channel. If it's something fun, then yeah, why not, right? I think in my mind, to make myself feel better about it, that I'm not just like making money off of like somebody else's intellectual properties or whatever. In my mind, I am monetizing the editing that goes into making a video. The content of the video is someone else's property, right? Whether it's fireworks or parades, whatever it is. But the hours and effort that go into editing and uploading and doing all of that stuff, where it sounds trivial, but it does take a lot of personal time to just edit videos together. So that's, I think, how I personally justify monetizing on YouTube. And I don't know. I saw something the other day, yesterday, that was very interesting, where YouTube has various like paid premiums in order to not have ads. I think people can use like ad block and stuff. That's, if they want to do that, then that's totally fine. But when it comes to like supporting a particular channel, you can do YouTube memberships, which is not something that I've been interested in pursuing. Same with what is it, Patreon? Just because if I monetize something, I want to make sure that it's like a product worthy of earning money from, right? So that's why I've elected to not use those kinds of like services, I guess. But it was the idea that if you are a member of a certain channel, then by being a member of that channel, you shouldn't have to watch ads on that channel, which I think that that's a smart idea. I think that especially for channels that are like bigger YouTubers or whatever, like they actually have like a product that sort of like incentivizes being a member on that channel. I think that sounds really great, because a lot of people, they offer a lot of like they offer stuff along with a membership that entices people to want to be a member of that channel and stuff. So it's sort of like Patreon, but directly to that particular channel and whatever they offer through that membership. But then in addition to that, it could be attractive to where people wouldn't watch ads on videos, which would be awesome. And I try to be better about just going through ads. Like when I was uploading the, because I don't think about it, to be totally honest, too often, where I just sort of upload a video and then I move on to the next video. And my mom mentioned that like the first Alaska cruise video had like a lot of ads on it. So I went into YouTube and I looked at how many, like, because YouTube just automatically puts ads in like natural breakpoints through video. And there were so many, like an embarrassing amount of ads on like a 55 minute long video. There was like an ad every like 3-4 minutes. And that was embarrassing. I cannot justify a video that I upload needing that many ad breaks just to break up that, like, just me doing something usually mundane with, so that was sort of like an eye-opener for just wanting to actually try to, especially for those longer videos, because YouTube, with their algorithm, hate that word, they really want to encourage the long-form content. They like their short-form content, but as a way to incentivize watching and committing to long-form content. It's I don't know. It's stuff that I just don't, I have to think about it, but I don't like to care about it, and I think that other people take it to a different level on YouTube when it comes to like monetization and copyright claim and that kind of stuff, where it always comes back to like the integrity of the video itself, right? And I don't know, like I'm not gonna completely like mutilate any particular audio in a video just so I can monetize it and make money from it, even though it like destroys the entire point of what the video is supposed to be about. Sometimes you can navigate it and everything and address that in a way that, if it just requires you taking out 5 seconds of something, then it's like, oh, that's reasonable, but if I have to, like if I've said this before probably, but like if we're talking at Magic Kingdom or at Universal and just like the background music gets copyright flagged or something like that, it's like, well, all right, whatever, like, cool, on to the next video. Like that one doesn't get monetized, that's totally fine. We still had fun doing what we did, and it's a video and a memory that I can look back at later. Like there's so many silver linings with being like a YouTuber that I hope that other people like are aware of and think about. But other people do this for a living, and I currently don't, so that is also something worth taking into consideration. If I did this for a living, maybe I could afford a shirt that actually fit me, because this shirt is old. You could tell disaster and twister on here, but it is small. Yeah, so a little bit of a house cleaning, something like that. Just kind of talking through some stuff, particularly just videos that I've uploaded and edited and stuff that were pretty frequent, and I'm so glad that I finally got to edit those together, because I had all these memory cards that I kept on just like moving around and putting one on my camera, one on my computer, and deleting stuff and putting stuff on my laptop, and so just that it's all done, it is all uploaded, that I didn't accidentally delete or corrupt anything like from just 2 months ago to now is like kind of a miracle. Housekeeping, yes, house cleaning too. So yeah, that's my little rant about just I guess YouTube video monetization and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's so easy to not take this too seriously, but once you really start to kind of lean into the algorithm and then what other people are doing and saying and listening to that, that conversation, then that really bleeds into how you see what you're doing with YouTube and stuff. And I'd rather very much so be full arm's length from, I don't know, just this YouTube SEO stuff. It would benefit me definitely when it comes to views and subscribers and everything. But just like, I think that natural commitment of somebody wanting to watch a video is just so important. That is why I do not like shorts at all, because to me, just that growth is just, it is so, it's not stagnant. It's the opposite of stagnant. You get people committing to, your content and to you, but I don't know. I don't think it's as natural. I don't think that people care as much when they subscribe specifically for shorts and stuff. And I've seen channels just across the board of just like that prioritize shorts in their content, and I don't think that it really is that lucrative. I don't think personally. And if it was, then whatever, to be honest. I just don't like shorts. I think those belong on other mediums. So now that I've been sassy about all that for about 15 minutes, in the thumbnail, I had this. And I was thinking about doing it. I have occasionally done Lego sets and other various puzzles and stuff during live streams just to do something as I'm talking, so that it doesn't sound as like aggressive as I have been just talking to the camera with my hair askew, with my face all shiny and sweaty from the passion of how much I care. And just to take a step back, like, to get growth from shorts is fine, and I don't know, and everything that whenever I have like an opinion, I get kind of like heated about it. It's this hot potato that I just keep tossing from hand to hand and to myself, and it's not me trying to insinuate or insult that this is not the way to do, or to do YouTube, or to just be a content creator, because anybody that's on YouTube is putting themselves out there, is actively making the choice to be creative, and whatever medium, whatever form that is uploaded in, it should be celebrated, and it is something that is just, we have this place where we can be ourselves on the internet, and where we can upload to all of these different websites and these apps and stuff, and that's not something that I'm trying to knock at all, where it's cool if you do shorts, and there are shorts, I think it's this jealousy, if I'm being fully, again, with the transparency with it. People are creative with shorts. The shorts are like a very intriguing way of creativity, and how fast something can be edited and sort of pieced together in a much more consumable and interesting and entertaining way, versus an entire 25-minute long video accomplishing what a 1-minute short could do. Like if I go to Halloween Horror Nights and I try to do all of the houses, and I want it to be this challenge if I'm going to do it or not, which is something that I plan to do. And just give those updates about what the wait time is, how long I waited for it. You could do that like that in a short. If I wanted to do with Magic Kingdom Challenge, where I try to write every single ride of Magic Kingdom, you could do it in a 1-minute short. It just gets it to the point. You let people know whether you did or didn't do something, and if it was or wasn't a challenge. That's what some people want to know. But I also want to make sure that I have videos that I think are episodic of, I want people to like sit down. I want people to do what I do and how I consume YouTube media, which is I want to eat my lunch while I watch a YouTube video. I want to end my day with a YouTube video, something that's just kind of, it's a commitment that is just, it's relaxing, it is therapeutic, it is repetitive, and that is, I think, what is nice about long form YouTube content. But it is nice to have premium where you don't have to watch ads. So there's that. So keep on doing shorts, because most of them, they're all pretty cool. Some of them are just brain rot mind-numbing garbage to be super like out there with it, where they're just desperately trying to get, um, you know, like retention time, and not even AdSense, because they don't really pay that well. I don't think, for shorts, but as long as you're making creative shorts that are you're passionate about and are fun, they're fun to do, then that's what's cool about YouTube and stuff. I just really hope we can lean back a little bit from. I hope that shorts are kind of a fad. Um, like a fad in the sense of like I wanted to lean back into long form content and stuff, because I have a little bit more. I think that most people do have a little bit more of like an attention span than like YouTube and Instagram and TikTok want to give us credit for. So this has been here this whole time. So I wanted to do this. This is a totally not Lego Hogwarts set. This is a Magic School block set. So not Hogwarts, not Lego. But the pieces that come in here, it was not going to happen. Not even because I would get distracted very easily, but just the size of these are so tiny, so tiny, and there are so many. I'm still pulling them out. Literally impossible. Okay, so there's the there's the tiny little, let's see, you can see it. There's the tiny little Voldemort and the Harry, Ron, and Hermione little Lego pieces. It's kind of scary. I didn't expect them to be I expected there to be a lot of pieces, but just they're so scary small. I don't want any of the animals to choke on that at all, and there would just be no possible way for me to go through this book and even remotely have any kind of a conversation at the same time. Oh my god, I've been wanting to do this for so long, and there was no way it was ever going to be a one-day project, but I wanted to at least start it. Which that's what these videos kind of help me. These live streams, if I do a Lego set or something, most of them are back over there. Yeah, you need tweezers to do some of this. This is crazy. So I'm gonna put these back in here real quick, and I'm just gonna have to do this just casually at some point. Just if I have, that's another thing is say if I have time. Everybody has time for what they want to make time for. That's sort of what stinks about doing YouTube videos. Look at this. That's every individual brick of Hogwarts just in this one bag, and then there's just 25 to 35 bags here. What was I saying? Something about having the time to do stuff that you want to do. Something along just being making videos on the internet. It's difficult because whenever I'm doing something else mentally, I'm I could be doing something that I also want to do, but that would be a contribution towards this YouTube thing that I'm also trying to do. But it's everything that I upload is stuff that I do want to do, right? And sometimes it may not seem like that, but it is stuff that I intentionally have plans and I want to do. It's just how I navigate around other commitments and time-sensitive stuff, where if it's Halloween or if it's Christmas or something, what I do in between all of the stuff that I would want to do during the holiday season, it's hard to sit down and do something like this when I could be going to Magic Kingdom to do stuff there that I've been wanting to do for a while, or to ride rides that I haven't done over there in a little bit, or go to Animal Kingdom and go to Dino Land before I can't. Same with Magic Kingdom. Go to Tom Sawyer Island before I can't, or just anything at any of the theme parks. And then after I do that stuff, I need to edit it. So anytime that I dedicate to doing stuff like this, it's time that I could be doing editing to make sure that I actually get that video uploaded and edited so I can move on to the next video and stuff. So it's hard to have that like dead time, but it is also important. It's just sometimes it's tiring, you know. I've been doing this YouTube thing for a long time. I've been uploading videos onto YouTube since 2007, and then actually like uploading videos like not even like since college. So like since like 2011, 2012, I've been consistently weekly uploading content to the internet. And then this channel was in 2014, so this channel is 10 years old. And some people have been watching this for 10 years, just me vlogging my life, whatever that is, mostly theme parks. So now, yeah, the decision paralysis is real. The question, the big question, the beautiful segue. So thank you, Fantasy Geek, for this segue. Have Brennan and I booked anything for Epic Universe yet? You ready? No. Oh no. What are we gonna do? Yeah. So that's like there's been just a consistent conversation about Disney and Universal and stuff, especially like in the past year, pretty much since Epic Universe was confirmed and announced. And hey, Marissa has been here since 2016. Woo! I don't know what that was. Woo! Thank you. Yeah. So people are okay. Recently back and watched the first time Brendan and I hung out on camera from Tabitas. Yeah. We didn't like vlog together until like several months into our relationship, because you don't want to stick a camera in somebody's face as you're like trying to schmooze them, when you're trying to date. I had to hide my vlogger stuff from her until she was comfortable, until it was too late, and then she couldn't. No, she's always thought the vlogging stuff has been endearing and stuff. I had a feeling because you probably wanted to be educated and see the fully built thing before going. Well, okay, so Epic Universe, like a couple days ago, they released like ticket deals and resort deals for the Grand Helios Hotel, and then also the multi-day ticket packages that included 1 day at Epic Universe. So it was I think like a minimum 3-day commitment of purchasing tickets to the Universal Resort theme parks, but one of those days, excuse me, could be for Epic Universe. And then the bookings for Grand Helios for opening day, which is on May 22nd, which is my birthday. So thank you, Universal, for the beautiful birthday present. But yeah, so we did not book anything, and that's specifically because sort of like a topic that I wanted to like talk about, and I think that I might be in the minority with like some of these like feelings and stuff, but I'm curious if anybody else feels the same, and if you do, please like let me know. Like I don't solicit like comments and stuff a lot, but I'm particularly curious about this topic and stuff because I just want to see where people are with this, right? The theme park community, I think, has gotten pretty toxic. It's never not been like toxic. It's never not been like a place of like this contention and jealousy and choosing sides, but when it comes to Disney versus Universal, it's been not fun to like be a part of this like community right now. And this is something that I think I've just said into the ground at this point about how I think that it's beneficial to be a fan of both Disney and Universal, that competition is healthy and encouraged, and that everyone wins when it comes to just tourism and technological innovation and investment into Central Florida and stuff. But like for whatever reason, people are they're so mad like at Disney. They're so upset with Disney, and I think rightly so in a lot of cases and stuff. But when I watch other like theme park vloggers, right, and I look at their comments and stuff, it's an interesting case study where I think like-minded people consume the content from those particular influencers and creators that they watch, right? If somebody creates Universal content, like predominantly Universal content, and they have this attitude towards Disney, I think a lot of people reflect that in the comments. I think that that's where they get a lot of their engagement and feedback, and it's sort of it's so self-inducive to creating that community around them, that I think is a little bit less open-minded than it should be. Okay, so that's to say that if somebody craps on Disney, right, that the people that watch them are probably also going to be people that don't like Disney, whether it's for political reasons or creative reasons or whatever it is, or price reasons and finances and stuff. All of which are valid reasons. You are totally, absolutely permitted to, and you don't even need permission for this, but you are allowed to like what you like, and you're allowed to have opinions and naysay stuff that you don't appreciate about what these companies are doing, because you are giving them a substantial amount of money for a product that you are by all means allowed to have opinions about and to provide feedback about the product that you're getting versus what you're paying for it, right? If I wanted to get a Big Mac and then suddenly nothing's changed about the Big Mac, but then it's $5 more expensive, yes, I'm going to be upset about that. I'm going to have problems with it and stuff, but then it really just is more on the consumer to decide whether or not that's something they want to pay for that product, and then they can move forward with their financial decisions based on that, right? You can decide to not get a Big Mac. You can go and try a different. I'm always going to bring it back to McDonald's, but you can I don't know. You can always go to a different fast food restaurant. So it's such a weird, and I mentioned it to Brennan before about like how a lot of what people say, particularly against Disney, it's very like conducive to it's like a toxic relationship where this company and this theme park and this resort is very much so clearly out of this person's life. They've been burned by their relationship with this company, but it continues to just have this place in their head, and it continues to I don't know, it's something that they want to have a problem with and be as vocal about it as possible. And I think that there's like a difference. I think that there are people that like want the best for this company, and it's not giving them the product that they know that they could provide, right? And I'm more in that camp, I think, personally, where certain aspects of what Disney does disappoint me with how it makes its creative decisions, or where they allocate budget for proposed projects, and what they're charging versus what they're providing for like the average guest. But then there are people that want to just hate on it. And it's funny because whenever all I need to do is just read and just Twitter and people's posts on Twitter or people's reels on Instagram, and then I get heated up, I get fired up, and then that's when I want to do these live streams, because I want to talk about it. I want to see what people think. I want to see people agree or disagree with me, and sometimes I want, like, particular creators or influencers, I want them to be called out for some opinions that they have and everything, but that's not my place to do that. I want them to have that conversation with other people, and I don't know. It's exhausting sometimes. It's sad to. I think anything online has rampant toxicity. Yes, yeah, and I think it hurts, because it's like to be not a Disney apologist, but to be somebody that likes theme parks, that is excited about anything that's new, and to maybe have opinions about what I don't like, but also at the same time wanting to support these places. It hurts. It hurts to see people have such parasocial relationships that are like talking to a brick wall 99% of the time. Yes. It just makes me sad. I feel bad for people that have certain opinions toward Disney. And I'm talking specifically from Universal to Disney, because there are plenty, and this is where it's been interesting, because usually for the longest time the conversation was the complete opposite, where there were these Disney purists that scoffed at anything that Universal did. And I mentioned this, that there are people that absolutely hate Universal, and I know people that go to Disney World every single day of their life, not an exaggeration, that go to Disney every day and are nauseated by the idea of going to Universal. And that to me is so close-minded and depressing to be proud of that, right? And then, but more recently it's been flipped, where people are happy about what Universal's doing and what they're investing in and how they're treating their guests versus Disney. And yeah, and it's and at some point it's going to switch, right? Epic Universe opens up, then it's old news. Then Disney really starts to invest in what they've announced with the new Cars Land and with the new Villains Land and with all that they're doing, right, at the theme parks and the Tropical Americas, Indiana Jones and Encanto and the new parades and nighttime spectaculars and stuff. Like it's going to go back to Disney where, once Universal's opened up their new theme park and they don't have any new rides announced at their other parks, they're going to get bored, right? And that's what it comes down to. People get bored, I think, particularly these influencers and content creators, whatever you want to call them. I think that they take it out on the various theme parks when they aren't provided something new to make content about, right? Versus it being like a creative challenge for themselves to seek out what there is to do that's exciting and fun and whatever combination of factors that make Disney worth going to. When they don't have something new to video, they get bored and they take it out on Disney. And that's where I sort of have that judgment towards people. Like, some people go to Disney every day and I think they're doing probably too much. They're really just, wringing the chicken or whatever the phrase is. They're milking the cow. They're maybe putting too much emphasis on something that should be taken at more like of a, in moderation pace. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna read some comments now because that was me talking for a minute. Do I think Universal does line skipping better than Disney does? Absolutely. Am I going to spend my time and energy complaining about it? No way. Okay, so thank you for that. So Disney announced the new Lightning Lane Premier Pass. This has been such a conversation recently, rightly so, because, and to not defend Disney about this like at all, this kind of sucks, right? It sucks but with an asterisk, to pay for something that used to be free. That's never gonna not suck, right? So it's not knocking Disney in that way. It just sucks. But this is a service that is different than the system that previously existed, in that you are able to purchase a Lightning Lane Premier Pass with access to every single Lightning Lane offering, and you're able to do it. You're able to scan into that ride at any time you want. Disney has never done that before, with the exception of like VIP. And I do think that is absolute, given just the crowd at Disney, given the product that has that supply and demand factor to it, that deserves to cost money, right? And if that was the only line skipping service that was provided, I think that would make a lot of sense, because it would add that premier factor to that product, where it would be so worth it, right? Because then standby would be moving pretty consistently. The wait times would reflect what the wait time is posted, right? And the ratios that Disney would have to abide by in order to accommodate a certain amount of Lightning Lane attraction entrances, it would be just a win for everybody. If you paid that premium for that product, you could ride every single ride that you wanted to in that theme park immediately, and you wouldn't even be competing with people that paid the lesser value for that product of Lightning Lane, and then it wouldn't be as much of a disruption for the standby line, and that would be that would just be the best case scenario for everybody. But still having Lightning Lane being a paid service that specifically pretty much used to be free, that does stink. But then what is the conversation is how much it costs, right? And I think that people want to talk about this without knowing particular like statistics, and maybe they don't know that Disney probably has these engineers that they don't just, I doubt that they just choose a number that just sounds expensive and they're just like, that sounds fine. Like, they put in the specific research into everything. Every decision that Disney does has substantial, not scientific, but engineering, mathematical homework to it that maybe people don't consider, that there is a reason why something costs the way that it does at Disney. even with like minuscule price increases, which again suck. Anything costing money sucks, right? That's just a conversation that is very easy to have. It's water cooler conversation where you just elbow the guy next to you like, yeah, taxes, they suck. And so that's going to be an easy conversation to have. Is just anything costing money is a bummer. But Disney, any company, any theme park charges what they charge with that mathematical research, and it's not something that I'm going to be paying for. I know a lot of other people are not going to be paying for it, specifically because I can get the regular Lightning Lane for 10% of what that costs, if that. And then just by being consistent with checking the app and wanting to try to get the return times that I want to get and everything, like I can still ride the rides that I want to ride at any of these parks if I'm persistent with it. But that's another factor too. Is that now you don't need to be on your phone as much, right? Because that's a big complaint that people have, is how much you have to spend time on your phone when it comes to using Lightning Lane. You have to make sure that you book the next Lightning Lane, and it needs to it needs to be consistent with your plans for the day. And then when you plan to have breakfast and lunch, and you have a dining reservation, and then you need to see the parade, but then you also have to go over to Epcot and you have to park hop, and so when it comes to Lightning Lanes and virtual queues, it's challenging to try to navigate all of that. So by just paying for Lightning Lane Premium Pass, it's giving that premium of just not having to care. You can just walk up to a ride, and just because you're next to it, you can just ride it. You don't have to. I'm going to be interested in how this is going to work, and I know that there's going to be vloggers that are going to be covering this for the sake of making a video about it, because it's going to be like a lucrative topic probably for people to want to see how this works. I am curious, definitely, but I'm not about to take that bullet to, spend $450 just to ride rides at Magic Kingdom that I could just go and ride whenever I want, but just how that logistically works on the app. Like, is it going to show when you've redeemed riding a particular attraction? Is it going to let you know exactly what you are able to redeem? And is it going to, how does it work logistically with the app? So, and you can, there's Lightning Lane, there's multi-pass and there's single pass and stuff. So it does get expensive, and I don't know. I still want to sort of advocate for just riding rides, just standing in the standby wait sometimes, especially if you have like a multi-day vacation to Disney and you can sort of split up a particular trip to Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom is by far the most worth getting Lightning Lane for, absolutely. But if you try to be strategic about your trip to Magic Kingdom too, it can be beneficial to just be conscientious about the wait times, I think, sometimes. But Lightning Lane is also worth it too. Because waiting between 45 minutes to an hour to wait in a line, but then there's party days and stuff where if you go on the not party days, it can be more lucrative to, even though you don't get the full day, those wait times are going to be significantly less, or you're able to do more even in a short amount of time. Disney's gotten more complicated. It really has, with every single Lightning Lane service that they provided and how they've been consistently changing them, and then with a virtual queue, and it's not easy, right? But we can't do anything about it. This is happening. So as far as I know, so if people pay for this, it's almost like the Universal Premium Scream event, by not going to that, sort of protesting. At least to me, I think that's a weird gray area, because that ended up being great for people that did it, but it was so expensive. I guess that it's worth it, especially if you buy a 1-day HHN single ticket, and then you would add on Express to that, and then having there be food included, and however much you would spend on food, it sort of evened out as far as I know to people that went to that event. But I'm so weird when it comes to premium purchases and spending money on stuff that you don't have to. I don't like it really at all, so that's why whenever these things are announced, they don't necessarily impact me, just in my opinion about them, because my reaction is just like, okay, I'm not going to pay for that. But I'm a local. A lot of people are vacationing and need to know what their options are in terms of wanting to make their money worth it, because Disney is getting very expensive. That is true. and they need to know how to navigate that and what the best possible way of moving like through their vacation, if it is worth that premium upcharge, just to make sure they do as much as they possibly can. Um, do you think I'd ever do a Twitch stream and play old GameCube games and talking about theme parks? Probably not. I have never actually gone on Twitch. Brennan would probably do that before I would, because it's her GameCube and stuff. So I think she'd like that a lot, or she would play Sims or something. Um, let's see. All right, I'm sorry, just reading comments now. I've been talking a lot, so if you're still here listening to me complain about stuff, then thank you. I understand people enjoying what they enjoy, but being mad at the other side is the wrong way to look at it. Go to whatever park you want as long as you're having fun. Yeah, and that's why it's the full bias of being a cast member makes this very affordable, almost like hilariously so, where my opinion should not matter at all to somebody who actually pays for an annual pass and everything. But there are benefits that as a cast member that I don't get, that pass members get. So, but ultimately, this I would have I'm curious about the take that I would have if this was something that I was actively paying for annually, like for other passes that I've had throughout the years and stuff. But I've been very fortunate, to work for Disney, to be able to have these privileges and stuff. But at the same time, I think I can have that opinion where whatever theme park you want to go to, if it's affordable and if it's something that you actually want to do and somewhere that you want to go spend your time to, it's something that you want to spend your money doing, then that's what's important. That's where you want to spend your money. I think talking about what each theme park is doing good and bad are necessary. Like I grew up going to Busch Gardens Tampa, but how they run the parks recently are horrible. We have not been to Busch Gardens in a while. I know that they recently reopened from the hurricane and stuff. The times that we have gone, if it's been anything similar to SeaWorld, it's been definitely disappointing at SeaWorld personally and stuff. And that's, we went to SeaWorld and Travis wanted to get their quick queue pass, which was only like $18, which is compared to $18 to the prices that Universal and Disney charge. That was crazy. But no one scanned the pass. Nobody looked at it. Nobody redeemed it at all. It was just, we just walked into the quick queue entrance, and then suddenly we just had to sort of merge into the standby line at a certain point. There was a couple times where they glanced at it, but the majority of the rides, we just walked up, got onto the ride. So anybody could have gone through that line and not had quick queue. It's just, and then Busch Gardens having rides be operating or not and being sort of inconsistent about that communication. I know that's been a challenge there. But yeah, having a conversation about this and holding these theme parks accountable, letting them know that people care and that people are talking about it, it does make a difference, and they do see this conversation, right, on Twitter and wherever it is, because they want to know that feedback. They want to see that people care, and if enough people are mad about, the fact that they haven't painted this wall at Epcot or whatever it is, or fixed the lights on the ground at Epcot, which that seems to be the easiest way to get back in people's good graces. And I don't know how challenging that is from an electrical standpoint. I don't know if it had something to do with the pressure washing or something, but that has been the most, just everyone has talked about the lights on the ground at Epcot and how they don't work. And if Disney just fixed that, people would be happy. And I think that they need to, because over the next few years, I even forgot to mention Hollywood Studios with their Monsters Land. So Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom with all of their big theme park projects and the walls and stuff. Epcot needs to look pretty, I think, for the next decade. They need to make sure that Epcot looks good, compared to all the walls everywhere else. To me, it feels like Disney is doing it to say, hey, you don't qualify for DAS, but you can buy this $400 pass. Woo. Hot take. Yeah, how DAS has been, how that's been navigated has been a subjective challenge, right? Maybe more objective, but when with people that need DAS they don't qualify it, that previously qualified for it, that is something that is, I feel very fortunate that I don't have to that I don't need to have an opinion on that, right? Because it does not pertain to me. So to have an opinion one way or another feels inappropriate. So I just want to make sure that everybody has the most comfortable theme park experience as possible. So this is a word that I've thought about. So it's pretty elitist the way they're implementing it. They just made Lightning Lane the same as Universal's being available for everyone at a higher cost, not just for the deluxe resorts or DVC. Yeah, so I comparing Lightning Lane Premium Pass to like Universal's Express Pass, because like their one-time use Express Pass and stuff, that's hard with how they price it and stuff. Like it won't be as expensive as I think people are making that conversation to be about Disney's Lightning Lane. But then that range of price of what it would cost and stuff, particularly at Magic Kingdom, I don't know. There are a lot more rides at Magic Kingdom as opposed to Universal Studios Florida, like specifically rides and stuff, like probably triple the amount at Magic Kingdom compared to Universal and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe the price will fluctuate. Maybe just pending the initial reaction and purchase of it, maybe it'll correct itself a little bit. Maybe more in the cheaper realm of affordability for people that want to pay for it, and then sort of making it exclusively for the deluxe resorts and stuff. Like it is sort of saying, and in some people's opinion, that if you can afford this resort and this vacation at these prices, then what is this to add to it, right? But I think people are still just getting mad about it being an option, right? It is an option that people can either do or not do, and it may actually have nothing to do with you, and you may never want to do it, and you may never think about it again, but it's just there for people to want to do it. When I worked in attractions at Disney, people would come up and just, especially particularly during the pandemic when I was displaced, I worked at Peter Pan's Flight, and It's a Small World during the pandemic. And that was when we did not have any Fast Pass, any Lightning Lane at all. It was that in-between time that was so lovely because it was just standby. But people would come up and they would want to bypass the lines. They would want to pay. They didn't know what it cost, but they would desperately want to pay to not wait in lines, And the amount of people that are probably giving that feedback to like guest relations and stuff, Disney got that information that they needed. I think the majority of people that are complaining about it are going to be those locals that go sort of consistently pass holders and stuff, but they cater to vacation people, vacationers that come here maybe once in a lifetime, that want to get the most out of their vacation and are willing to pay for it, I guess thinking about the Universal Disney comparison with like Express Pass and stuff, I've only ever done Express Pass when it's been included with the premium hotel, if we've ever stayed there, and that has a great benefit at the cost of what an Express Pass costs just by staying at a deluxe resort. It's almost completely absorbed, and it's almost like you get Express Pass for free sometimes, especially when it's like a busier time of year. So that has been like a super incredible benefit and a perk. I don't know when it comes to like the Lowe's hotel ownership versus Disney's partnerships or the hotels that they own and stuff. Like there's going to be more like litigation with that, right? Where I don't know what they could or could not offer with the relationships that they have with their hotels versus Universal's with Lowe's. Okay, I'm missing some comments here, but just Lightning Lane Lightning Lane's expensive, and it sucks that it's going to cost as much as it costs, But I think that also this Universal being strategic about like when Disney announces something like this that is just pretty unpopular, right? That Universal is going to announce like the specifics of their theme park, their opening date and stuff when they're going to be selling tickets, and then Universal coming out with the prices they did for Grand Helios, which, in my opinion, were very reasonable, and had Disney opened up a new theme park and had a gateway resort entrance hotel, it would have probably cost 3 times that. Maybe. That's just my thought, So Universal being much more affordable, surprisingly affordable than Disney. That was surprising. That is something that Universal really needed, to just that good media, that PR that they've been really taking advantage of and being very smart and strategic with, is that comparative PR with Disney announcing something compared to Universal announcing the specifics about their new theme park and their lands and stuff. And it's so easy to make that mental, like that aggressive conversation, I guess, that people really like to jump on Disney for, where it's so easy to compare and look at what Universal's doing versus what Disney's doing. Let's see. Doing the math for everything is so necessary. Like when my friends and I go to Disney, I'll have to do the dining plan math, and then for Universal, seeing if a deluxe hotel would be good. And yeah, they both do stuff that's like very, like Disney's, I think, dining plan sounds pretty cool. I think Universal does do some variant of a dining plan, or they did, but it is just, I don't think that's ever really been worth it. That's me completely spitballing. I don't know that for sure. But it's interesting to see what Disney does and what Universal does, sort of to try to emulate how Disney does it, and they just do a lesser good job at it. And I think that they've been getting better about doing better. But there's still that Disney level of service and expectation, and that's where like a lot of the criticism of Disney is coming from, about people having Disney on that on that pedestal of expectation with what they want to be delivered by that premium service that has that Disney brand to it. So it's just people being disappointed, I think, too, with Disney, in addition to just being bored. Do I still sing and play guitar? I do, and a little ukulele sometimes, and I've been wanting to get back into that. Thanks for the mini golf video a while back. Because of it, I stopped there on my last Disney trip and bought a bunch of the old ride art that they have in the gift shop. Yeah. I still have, I framed most of it and put it into the living room there. Still have this Disneyland park map here, and they have a bunch of like cool old movie stuff. That was a Volcano Rumble mini golf, I think. But we've also done a lot of mini golf, so that could have pertained to a lot of places. Let's see, I've been talking for about an hour here. I wanted to kind of keep it around that because I think it's getting repetitive with me complaining about stuff, and that is a great look for me to have on the internet, just complaining about things. But I think it just to want to do this live stream, sort of just coming off of like the Epic Universe like ticket announcements and the resort like hotel prices and stuff, and then Disney's premium pass, and then today they're gonna be increasing the ticket prices, I think, for Disney, and food prices and stuff, and there was just a lot of discourse online about that, and it's upsetting to read it, because I agree with parts of it, but then a lot of it is just, it's annoying. I think it's just like straight up frustrating and annoying to see people having like these continual opinions about Disney, and it's, to me, I think bluntly, I just want to say, get over it, just don't go to Disney anymore. Cancel your annual pass, whatever makes you happy. Like, I get that Universal is your place, and it's my place too, and I'm going to be going to both parks and having as much fun as possible, and happy to support them both with whatever creative projects, Imagineering and Universal Creative, because they do such a phenomenal job, and I'm so happy to do new stuff. New theme park stuff is just the best, just unapologetically. And you just seeing like a content creator just complain about Disney, and then one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to like influencers are people complaining about something, and then still supporting that thing in the sense of something that they feel like they have to do, right? Like, a long time ago, that like Star Wars Galaxy's Edge was opening up, and I saw somebody posting about how much they like hated Star Wars or something, but then they had to go cover it because people they knew that people wanted to see that or something like that, and it was such an awful take, in my opinion, and I'll never forget just that kind of opinion that people have when it comes to like content creation, and that's where people get on my case for doing things because I'm forcing myself or something. But to me, that is the unequivocal definition of forcing yourself to do content, when you're overtly against it and then yet you still do it while complaining about it because you have to, because you make YouTube videos about theme parks. Same sort of thing with Disney, where people would be complaining about the prices increasing or whatever, but then rolling their eyes and then still having to make YouTube videos at Disney, where to me that's like, you don't. I know plenty of content creators that have shifted from Disney to Universal because they haven't enjoyed the product that they're getting from Disney, and that's cool. Like that is like to just unapologetically focus what you're interested in based on. I think there are still biases and outliers of people not getting the performance on Disney videos that they want from their videos, or the views and the comments and the engagement, subscriptions and likes and stuff. So that's why they shifted over to Universal. But if they intrinsically like Universal more than Disney, and they just stop supporting Disney, stop buying a ticket to Disney, or they wait till Disney has something to offer that they actually want to indulge in and focus on Universal, then that's cool. But this is where I don't like that. I hate the term influencer, and even content creator sounds weird, and just doing what I do on the internet, being sort of part of this community. It feels it's off sometimes, because just bringing it back around to the toxicity of the environment, where I think a lot of people are popular in this community, in this sphere, because they have strong opinions about Disney or Universal, and then they surround themselves with that audience that shares that opinion, because it is so easy to put something negative in the title and yourself looking angry in a thumbnail and complaining about something that Disney's doing or Universal's doing, and get that audience, to agree with you, and that's where you get that engagement, I think, is by having that loud narrative. And it's not interesting anymore, to just be somebody that likes everything, I guess. I don't know. Somebody wishes if a premium pass was available for whomever and not just deluxe and DVC. It probably will be. I think this is. I think this is going to be like the rollout, just to test it, to see how many people do purchase it at that price, like in that sort of smaller availability. And then if no one purchases it, then they can sort of, because they're going to want to make that money, absolutely. So they'll continue to probably make that more available. Okay, so I don't know. I don't want to fish for compliments or people to agree with me on things, because I want to have this kind of debate with people, where I've been wanting to sit down with a guy that only goes to Disney and never goes to Universal, and I want to just grab him by the shoulders and be like, why? Universal is so awesome. How is Pandora different than Galaxy's Edge? No, how is Pandora different than Harry Potter? And look at this effort and this continuity of theming, and it is fantastic. And look at this new theme park and these new lands, and look at all what they're doing with their nighttime spectaculars and their IPs, and why are you so close-minded to Disney? And then I want to the people that are scoffing at Disney, and because Disney has built new rides and lands, they have. Most of them a lot better than VillainCon or Fast and Furious or DreamWorks Land. No offense to Universal, but Disney's put out some really good stuff. So why grab them by the shoulders? Why are you abandoning Disney like this, when it is such a it's an obelisk of what theme park standard is for for Orlando. The Star Wars hotel experience did close. That's its own thing about just it. That was really expensive, and I think that was a very particular demographic of LARP people that probably would have wanted to engage in that, and so that would have been fun to do. But I was always hoping it would be like a fourth of that price to want to do that. Epic Universe is going to change people's opinions and probably make the demand Disney to do better with their immersion. Yeah, well, I think that I think Epic Universe is getting on the theming level of Disney, and I think that's something that people probably don't want to admit, is that Disney's immersion has been top tier and has been the standard for decades, and Universal just in the past decade, 15 years, has been getting it. I think Universal has been finally responding to what, and it's been super beneficial that Comcast, is Mr. Moneypants, has been able to provide that budget for Universal to deliver that product that I'm sure that they've been wanting to deliver for the past 30 years. So it's fortunate that they've gotten on that level of what Disney has offered, and I think that Disney's slipped definitely, with their budget and with their, I guess just how they've, like been responsive to, that. Not cooperation, that opposition, that competition that Universal has provided, and I think it's made Disney uncomfortable. But I think that again, everything is mathematical, right? So Disney has had the numbers to reinforce what they charge and what they offer, as well as the timeline of when they want to build and invest new rides and lands and theme parks. Peter, hey Peter. People want to watch creators who have opinions and don't love everything or hate everything. I think that's why I dislike shorts so much, because it's very much just one or the other. Yeah, because it's interesting too, because in the same realm of like that, if somebody just hates everything, it's like, why are you doing this? Like what passion do you have that provides you this response that you continue to pursue this there's having that. And that's what makes these content creators and influencers interesting, is that they can have these different opinions. It's actually entertaining to listen to somebody have an opinion in favor of something, and then somebody who couldn't be more disinterested, or who doesn't like it. But then also people that love everything about and have nothing negative to say about like these theme parks and these resorts and stuff. That's almost hollow, right? With just I don't know. It's fake is like it's a hard word. It's a harsh word, but content creators that just walk around Disney and that just are just smiling the entire time and going wee on rides and eating every bit of festival food and saying that's delicious. Maybe that is genuinely honest, but it's boring. So you have to throw in a little spice sometimes, a little, that this is me and this is my therapeutic opinion, just to have these assertive opinions about just this community at all. This is me being controversial, right? It drives me crazy that I get excited about new stuff, and then content creators talk about how terrible it is and they are ruining it. Yeah, and that's it's I feel like I'm trying to think about like myself, that I've not been perfect with that, where it's there's that entertainment factor too, where sometimes it just feels like it warrants that response, where you take a bite of that hot dog and then you make that face and you go, that stinks. And maybe that's being genuine again, but I don't know. But I think mostly you're talking about like attractions and stuff. That to me is like, I kind of like that in a way, where I like that challenge. I like somebody not liking something, because then that makes me kind of go in with a more attentive attitude to a particular like attraction, right? Where I have that like preconceived bias of wanting to actually like it, and I try to pay attention to what people didn't like about it. I try to pay attention to what people did not like about it, right? To see if I clock that too, or if it's that not big of a deal to me. And sometimes I I don't know. Sometimes I do let that influence sway me a little bit, where maybe it's something that I wouldn't have noticed, and because people talk about it, then I do notice it. Like a lot of Tiana's Bayou adventure reactions and thoughts and stuff, where if I had just gone into that completely unaware of what that ride was going to be like, would I be completely infatuated by it? Probably, because I like new things and I get excited about them. And then when I re-ride them more, then I start to be a little bit more realistic about my reaction to something. So it's hard, and that's why Epic Universe is going to be a nightmare with just everybody having every opinion about like what's the best ride and what's the best seat on a particular ride, or like where the budget cuts were, or how something could have been better. And that's gonna be super challenging. Which the tickets go on sale tomorrow for, I think, the annual pass holder tickets. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if what's going to be available tomorrow, but what's going to be available tomorrow for tickets for Epic Universe, if it's even going to be still available for opening day. I don't know if people purchased the multi-day ticket just to guarantee a ticket to Epic Universe to go on opening day. And I don't know. I think selfishly, I'm kind of hoping that there's months of like team member and pass holder and general guest or resort or hotel guest previews, and I it'd be I opening day would still be such a cool thing to experience and stuff, but it is sort of taking away that first culture, which I hate first culture unless it's like this particular like instance of like an opening day of a theme park that is cool to go to, right? But mostly the first culture, I don't like being a part of that. But if it can kind of like dilute a little bit of that like contention about like Epic Universe, where it's a more like a casual and like where we can go to the theme park before it opens, hopefully a couple times or something, like by the time opening, like how a lot of the attractions like Tron and Tiana's Bayou Adventure, they were soft opening for a while before the ride actually officially opened. So opening day was sort of, who cares, right? People have already ridden it at that point. But then I guess the preview day becomes the new opening day, so it's not gonna be perfect, but whatever. Sorry. This is where I'm like, and this is where Brennan talks, because I am just Amelia, thank you so much. You've been just talking the entire time, and I appreciate that. Just, it's so cool to have this like to be able to bounce off of and talk about. I've been talking a lot longer than I expected talking, but this is like kind of nice, where I don't know. I don't like talking other like content creators down or anything, but just some of their opinions. Like it's like I don't want to be affiliated with just a lot of like the frustrations and stuff. Like, but I also don't want to go to Disney and just be super like la 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 la. I love Disney, yay! Because I do have my own opinions and I have frustrations with Disney, definitely. But it's not going to be my entire internet personality, you know. Same with Universal. How there are so many things. There's so many things that Disney does better than Universal that a lot of people don't want to talk about. It kind of depends on what fits your agenda as an influencer in this space. I think sometimes where you kind of turn a blind eye to a lot of things. Okay, let's see. I need to catch up on a lot of these comments and probably conclude this video pretty soon. And if you're watching this on the replay, hello. Hope this was engaging at all. Just trying to read comments as I go along with it, and that it's not just a bunch of me just because that's not fun, right? I need to do better about. I need to like get like a screen that's like right here or something, because every live stream it's always like, but you're right there, so hello. I think with the interactive elements additionally to the immersion, it is exciting to see the immersion in Universal. Universal does immersion really well. Just since Harry Potter, they've been really good. You know, with the exception of things like they build good facades too. Immersion could be lacking in certain things like a Minion Land, you know, and stuff. But what they're gonna do at Epic Universe is gonna be top tier. They're gonna absolutely kick that out of the ballpark. Knock that out of the ballpark. I think Disney needs to stop announcing so many things before they're fully greenlit. People are still so upset about the Cherry Tree Lane expansion being scrapped, and then Velocicoaster. Velocicoaster was built during COVID, and that's stuff that I want to complain about too and have an opinion about. But then I don't know. I don't know the specifics of like the contracting negotiations and how. I don't think that this has to do with unions, but there's so much more yellow tape with Disney when it comes to unions and I don't know if that applies to particular contractors and stuff and yeah, I don't know how their budget works and how Universal's able to commit to a ride and build it. Universal waits to announce something until it's fully built, which is interesting. Um, and I think a lot of things did get impacted by the pandemic, like Cherry Tree Lane, like a lot of those attractions, like the Space Ship Earth refurbishments and Play Pavilion and stuff. I do think that Disney sort of used the pandemic a little bit to their benefit to do things like Lightning Lane or to maybe not follow through with certain stuff. But yeah, we will see. Like, as much as I don't want this Cars Land thing to happen, I think it needs to happen in order to, like, for just stockholders and just Disney enthusiasts and fans. I think they need that, like, that they need to see that commitment, that follow through from Disney. I think when they announce something that they actually do it, because they have been kind of burned a lot by Disney, or it's taken whoa, hiccup. It's taken too long to do things that Universal is doing incredibly fast, and even SeaWorld builds things ridiculously fast. I've been great about being honest, but not over the top either way. I was talking about people that crap on everything that comes out. Yeah, it's just, I think some people are they wait to see just anything that Disney does, and they try to find the negativity in it, and it's gonna be interesting, right? When Epic Universe opens, and it's old news, right? Once people have gotten into that theme park and they've gotten to ride all the rides, they've gotten to see all the lands, and then then it's gonna go back over to Disney when Disney has multiple lands and rides and innovative technology announced and planned and shovels in the dirt, whatever, over the next decade, and then everybody's going to come back over to Disney because they have what's new and exciting. And like, yes, Universal still is going to be creating stuff and building stuff, but they are so landlocked. But will Disney follow through on that blessing of size, right? They love to really brag about. They got to do something with it. I'm probably gonna head out here in a little bit. I'm losing my voice. Social media detox for Epic Universe will be needed. Yes. If they did what they did with Islands of Adventure opening, then they would be kind of smart, because that did soft open, right, over the course of like a couple months or so. Brennan and I do not have a wedding date, not yet. Still figuring that out with pricing and dates and stuff. And then just like personally, our work schedules just really changed, where my days off shifted pretty significantly with my work and my department. So now we don't have the same days off anymore. So now just like planning and following through with all of that, it's gonna be challenging. It's gonna be doable. But for a little bit at least, it's gonna be, if we do videos together, especially like during the daytime, it'll be a bit of a challenge. I try to be a neutral person when I talk about things because of the polarization between the parks. Yeah, and it's weird that people have to kind of like edit themselves a little bit with their opinions about stuff, because I think people can be so violent with their passion, sometimes when it comes to the particular theme parks and then the stuff that they offer. Like a big one being Jollywood Nights, where I think that one was really polarizing, at least, and particularly for me too, just to watch other people's videos from that. If somebody, because a lot of content creators will put the money into like a special event or after hours or whatever it is, they put that money into it, probably expecting to get that money back out of it, or to get at least the notoriety of engagement of people watching that video, of them doing this more lucrative experience or paying a certain particular price for something, and then getting that reward, I guess. Sorry, I inflated my Halloween Mickey and Minnie outside, and I thought that they collapsed. Yeah, so Jollywood Nights was just this, Jollywood Nights, and then the premium Scream, and I was thinking about this too the other day too, and this is not much of a tangent, but it's just kind of continuing to talk about it. Everything is becoming a premium price and an experience, and it is catering to that elitism of, if you want to pay more for something, you get a better experience out of it. And everybody's been complaining about that, but everybody's been doing it, And I think it's weird. It's like politically, right? Like, if you don't vote, then you don't vote. But what is that going to do, right? So if I don't go to Premium Scream, if I don't go to Jollywood Nights, then what is that really doing? That's not really actually impacting the after hours event, right? By going on strike, or whatever. What was it called? Boycotting, like these premium events. But it's just been so consistent, and both theme parks are doing it. It's never not been a thing, these like premium upcharges and stuff, but it's gotten to be a lot, and it sort of sucks, and that's influencers that they, some of them are like invited out as media, and then that's really cool to have that like opportunity to do that. But then if you're actively paying for every single premium experience, it gets kind of muddled, right? Then what is your theme park experience if you're kind of setting that standard for yourself? I think sometimes with these premium experiences, and I'm sort of scared because, so we did when I went with Travis and Dennis, we did Express at Universal, and that was the most beautiful thing, and I have talked crap about Express for so long. But getting to go through that Express line, getting to bypass the entire standby, getting to go into every single house with like a 10 to 15 minute wait at most, like, that was such a luxury. That was such a nice experience. And like, I get that people say that that's the way to do it, but I just have this contention with spending money on stuff that's why I want to go back to Horror Nights at some point, hopefully before it ends. And I want to try to do all 10 houses, like all of them, because Brennan and I have gone and we've done most of them, but I want to do all 10 houses in one night. And I want to be more like transparent about like what the wait time is and how long we wait, and like, or how long I wait in the standby line. And I don't know. So that was another tangent. Great. Good for me. I just can't not go off on tangents. Yeah. But I guess back to Jollywood Nights too. Like, people hated Jollywood Nights. They said it was the worst event ever. And I think Peter here was from Ordinary Adventures, and I think he went. I'm pretty sure that he didn't care for it, and I know that was like a lot of people's opinions, is that it was not worth the price for the product that Disney provided. And then there were people that did go, and they said, yeah, it was fun. So I don't know. Like, spending that much money and having it be worth it or not is such like a subjective anomaly of like, who do you trust to be that transparent about something that costs a particular amount, right? That I don't know, that maybe they wouldn't even have done it if it was free, or they would have done it if it cost $100 more. So it's hard to I don't know, let's see. I think you need to look at Disney and Universal very differently. They aren't the same, and they aren't trying to be. Disney is where I take my kids. Universal is where I go for an adults-only roller coaster trip. There you go. And that's exactly, the point. I don't want to say like it's a mood, but it's like just a personal preference of, I don't know. Sometimes I want to go to Disney, and I want to ride the Little Mermaid ride, and I want to see the fireworks and enjoy the whimsy of Jungle Cruise and stuff, But then sometimes you want to go to Universal and you want to ride Velocicoaster, and it's such a different mentality about these particular places that they both provide such an incredible product. Stay and Scream is the way to go for HHN. Yeah, 2 years in a row we've done the best two houses during Stay and Scream. So that's my. I haven't done that in a little bit, so I want to do that again. Stay and Scream, just to kind of show that whole thing. Because whenever Brennan and I go and stuff, we kind of focus more on like, I don't know, like I'm not gonna stick the camera in her face the entire night, and ask her questions about our wait time and stuff. So that's where it's kind of nice to vlog alone, is that the content is me just sort of talking to the camera and then that being my friend right at the event. So it's good to be a little bit more transparent with wait times. Okay, so I think I should probably conclude this live stream that ended up being a lot longer. I probably had so much more to complain about than I didn't get to. So thank you to people that just kind of stuck around for this and listened to me for about an hour and a half. And yeah, I just, it's such a cool privilege to be able to go to all of these theme parks. I think they're worthy of support. They're worthy of this dialogue and conversation to have to make these improvements and to better them, and to give that feedback and stuff. And it's definitely not inaccurate that there have been missteps, right, with certain maybe lands or rides getting rethemed, or or being something else being built in place of that ride or whatever, so that's its own like dialogue, right? Is letting them know what you don't like about, certain rides, like Earthquake Disaster, being replaced with Fast and Furious, Splash Mountain being replaced with Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Like, there are certain aspects that are like improvements about the technology and the storyline and the experience and the like the IP synergy, probably. But then, what is nostalgia versus what is, the previous ride was even better. So this whole conversation is cool to have, and it's great to have right now, and about like rides that we're going to be experiencing in Epic Universe and rides that are going to be built at Disney too. It's cool. And I think that's the privilege, right? That's the premium. I don't know. Is just being able to talk about it, right? And I like supporting both of these places and wanting them to be the best of what they can be, right? Like, just being financially conscious too at the same time. Okay, so one more comment about just there are two different planning approaches. Universal is much more lax in how much you need to plan. Disney needs to be planned to a T, basically. Yes, and sometimes that's fun, right? Especially when my family comes and I do purchase Lightning Lane for us, or when we had Fast Pass Plus, just being able to navigate that app and being able to get us onto the next, like the next ride, like immediately, as quickly as possible. If we're walking past, Pandora and we get on Avatar because I got a time for it right then, and then we redeem it, then I can get another Lightning Lane over here. It just, sometimes that can be fun, and if maybe a particular person in the group has to be the one to do that, and that's me oftentimes with our group, just meticulously sort of planning that. But it can be kind of fun. It's like a little game, I think. And then if you're able to do as much as possible while it being as like convenient as possible, right? Where you don't have to go back and forth across the park, and you don't have to cancel your lunch reservation or miss fireworks. It can be kind of cool. So thank you, everybody, to joining the live stream. I appreciate anybody that's watching, anybody that left comments. If you're watching this in the replay and you leave a comment, or if you're just watching in general, thank you. I think it's a cool space to be able to talk about this, and I hope that you're all sort of like-minded in that way, to where it's pleasant to be able to have this conversation where we can mostly appreciate these places, right? That we have a lot of us this local access to, and that it's going to be fun to really go to all these parks in the future, and hopefully it continues to be cool, and that we're not just negatively commenting about every small thing, because then it's a sad place to be in, I think. When you look for negativity, that's all you're gonna see. So if you look for something good, then hopefully it seems like a more positive place. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Have a great day. And goodbye. Yay, I caught up on videos and I did a live stream talking about everything. I feel good. All right, goodbye.